Welcome back to the Deep Dive. We're the place you come to really get the architecture, the bones of complex topics. And today,
Well, today we're getting into something absolutely critical if you're using advanced AI. We're talking about the real difference maker between just, using AI and actually commanding it professionally.
yeah,
Advanced prompt engineering.
exactly. It's the key.
We've gone through a ton of material on this, sources mapping out what some call the secret language of these AI tools. And honestly, one quote really captured the whole spirit for me. Every AI is like a genie, but your wish must be clear or the magic fails.
Mm-hmm. That sums up perfectly.
So our mission today is exactly that. We want to unlock this art, this craft of advanced prompt engineering. We're aiming to teach you, our listener, the mechanics, the precise way to turn a fuzzy question into a powerful, super specific instruction set.
Yeah, the kind that gets you output that's not just, not just generic text, but actually brilliant, domain specific, useful.
We're giving you the blueprint for AI mastery today. And mastery is the right word. Because we're pushing past just basic use, right? We're talking about structured communication. For any professional listening, for you, the learner look, knowledge is only really valuable when you can grasp it, apply it fast, and shape it for a very specific result.
Right.
And this deep dive, it gives you that exact framework for that rapid, structured application. It's the difference really between asking an intern a vague question
Yeah.
and giving clear, detailed directions to a senior colleague on something high stakes, time sensitive.
Okay, I like that analogy. And look, we are going to get into the fancy structures, the advanced tactics, absolutely. But we have to start with the bedrock, the absolute fundamental principle, the golden rule, you could say, that all the sources hit on right away.
Garbage in, garbage out, GI go.
It sounds almost too simple, right? Cliche even.
It does. But you'd be amazed how often it's broken, especially in professional settings. People see the AI do amazing things, right? Code, translate, synthesize data, and they just assume it can read their minds.
That it gets the nuance from a short phrase.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It can't. Not without help. We need to elevate that GI go idea. For professionals, garbage in isn't just a bad question. It's a vague question.
Ah, okay. That's a key distinction.
Because the quality you get back, especially when you need that nuance, that specificity, where you need it to follow certain rules, like, say, financial reporting standards or legal citations,
Right.
it completely depends on how clear and structured your input is.
So let's rephrase GI Go for everyone listening. If you put in a vague command, you get an answer that might be technically correct, but professionally, it's useless.
Or worse than useless,
How so?
because it wastes your time. You then have to spend time editing it, fixing it, checking it, time you wouldn't have wasted if the prompt was good to begin with.
That makes sense. It's a false economy.
Precisely. Look, the AI is basically a giant prediction machine. A vague prompt tells it, okay, predict the most likely general answer, which is usually, well, the lowest common denominator.
Bland.
Yeah,
Generic.
Exactly. But a specific, really constrained prompt that forces it to dig deeper, to use its specialized knowledge, the niche stuff.
Okay. So input quality is everything, and a single vague sentence. Dead in the water for serious professional work.
Absolutely.
So how do we get better? How do we systematically level up our communication with these tools?
Well, the sources lay out a really helpful structure, this idea of the prompt pyramid.
All right, let's unpack that. The prompt pyramid sounds foundational.
Yeah, it's a great way to visualize it. Think of it as a roadmap, showing how you evolve from being, an AI novice to someone who's really architecting the interaction. It breaks it down into 3 distinct levels of specificity. And these levels directly tie to the quality and usefulness of what you get back.
Okay, walk us through them. Understanding this progression feels like step 1, level 1, the basic prompt.
Right, the entry point, the simplest possible ask. It's usually a short, vague command. The example used in the source is perfect. Summarize this case.
Okay, seems straightforward enough.
It does, but think about what the AI does. It gets that, digs into its huge general knowledge, tries to figure out what summarize usually means, and spits something out.
Yeah.
Now, is it accurate? Probably, on a basic level, but it's almost certainly way too long or maybe too short. It's got no structure you asked for, it doesn't know who it's for or why you need it.
So you end up with a wall of text.
Pretty much a wall of text that you then have to manually wrestle into shape. It's fast for the AI to generate, sure,
Yeah.
but it's not efficient for you.
Right. You've burned through compute time, tokens, whatever, for something generic. Okay, so that's the base. Level 2 is the refined prompt. What happens here?
Okay, so the user realizes the basic prompt didn't cut it. They try adding some detail. A constraint or two,
Like
like maybe summarize this case into 4 paragraphs.
better.
A bit. You've given it a number, a length constraint. That helps. But you're still missing huge pieces of the puzzle. Context is still absent. Meaning, who are these 4 paragraphs for? Is it for a senior partner who just needs the absolute top-level strategic implications?
Or maybe a client who needs it explained in simple terms.
Exactly. The AI has no idea. So it still can't nail the right style or the right substance. The summary might be 4 paragraphs, but are they the right 4 paragraphs? Often it's still too general or maybe too brief on the key points. It still lacks that structure you need to just grab it and use it professionally.
Still requires work on my end.
Significant work, often.
Okay, which brings us to the top. The goal. Level 3. The context-rich prompt. This is the expert zone.
This is where you want to be. This is where you stop making the AI guess and you start giving it explicit, detailed directions. You're combining specific constraints, crucial background info, maybe who the audience is, and exactly how you want the output formatted.
So you're providing the full picture.
You are. And what's really interesting here, and this gets to why this mastery matters, the context-rich prompt essentially gives the AI scaffolding. It helps the AI narrow down its search space.
How does that work?
Well, think about it. When you're vague, the AI has to pull from everything it knows. It's massive, generalized training. That's computationally expensive and often, frankly, not very accurate for specialized tasks.
Okay.
But when you provide rich context, you're telling the large language model, the LLM, right away, okay, ignore most of that general stuff. Focus here. Prioritize these specific terms, this type of knowledge.
So it's like giving it laser focus.
Yeah, exactly. It dramatically improves both accuracy and speed. You're not just getting a better answer, you're helping the AI deliver its best possible answer much more efficiently. You're pre-filtering its virtual brain in a way.
I like that, pre-filtering its brain.
You're basically turning this huge general-purpose engine into a specialized tool, custom-built for the task at hand.
And for our listener, the learner, who needs to get up to speed on complex stuff quickly.
For you, the context-rich prompt is gold. It means the AI delivers knowledge that's already synthesized, structured in a way that's easy to understand, and directly relevant to what you actually need to do.
It's a shift, then, from just consuming information
to architecting its creation. The human isn't passive anymore. You're actively drawing the blueprint for the AI's output.
Okay, that's a powerful shift. Architecting the creation. I like that. So, the context-rich prompt is our target. The prompt pyramid shows us the path. How do we actually build these powerful prompts? What are the components? The sources seem to agree on a core framework, right? 4 essential elements.
Yes, and this framework is super practical. Think of it like a checklist. If you're building a prompt and you miss one of these 4, you're leaving a gap.
And the AI will try to fill that gap how?
Generically, which bumps you back down the pyramid, maybe to level 2 or even level 1 output quality.
Okay, let's break this toolkit down. Element 1, and this seems to be a big one for professionals, role.
Huge. Defining the role is absolutely foundational. You're essentially telling the AI who it should be while it's answering you. It's like a little meta prompt before the main prompt.
Act as...
Exactly. Act as I. This instantly narrows the AI's focus. It sets the tone, the vocabulary it should use, and crucially, the background knowledge it should assume it has.
So it's not just about making it sound professional.
No, it's deeper than that. It actually influences the underlying mechanics.
Yeah.
Which specific bits of data, which tokens the LLM gives more weight to when it's generating the response.
Okay, give us an example. Let's contrast. Basic request versus a role-defined one.
All right, simple request. Write a summary of the economic risks facing the market. What do you get?
Probably something high level, like a generic news report.
Precisely. Macro overview. Now add a role. Act as a chief risk officer for a multinational bank focused on derivatives trading. Identify and prioritize the top 3 systemic risks for Q3 2024, citing specific regulatory guidance.
Whoa, okay, completely different game.
Night and day, right?
Yeah.
You force the AI to think and speak like a CRO. It has to use the language of finance, of regulation, of systemic risk. It's not talking general economics anymore.
It's operating under specific constraints.
Risk-based constraints? Maybe even fiduciary ones implied by the role. It changes the entire nature of the output. That's the power. Role takes it from general info dump to specialized consultation. You don't have to waste time teaching the AI what professionalism means in that field.
Okay, role sets the persona. Element 2, context. This is the background, the setting.
Exactly. Context defines the operating environment, the stage, if you will. It manages the scope of the task. And technically, it relates directly to the AI's context window.
Which is like its short-term memory?
Sort of, yeah. It's the limited space where the AI holds your prompt, its own output as it generates it, and any documents you've attached.
So context is where you feed it background facts, define the audience, limit the length, specify rules it needs to follow.
All of the above. Maybe you need to tell it about internal company policy, or a specific legal jurisdiction, or just key facts about the situation it needs to consider.
Now, why is constraining the context important? Wouldn't just dumping more background always be better? Give it all the info.
You'd think so, but no. Remember that context window limit. It's finite. If you fill it up with rambling, unnecessary background.
Then there's less room for the actual important stuff and for the AI to generate a good answer.
Exactly. So your context needs to be targeted, laser-focused. If you're asking to analyze a contract, don't just paste the whole thing. Specify. Focus only on clauses X, Y, and Z related to termination and liability, assuming New York state law applies.
Ah, okay. You're pruning the irrelevant stuff up front.
Precisely. You stop the AI from wasting its limited attention on things that don't matter for this specific task.
Makes sense. Context provides the boundaries. Element 3. The workhorse, instructions. This is the what to do part.
This is the verb, the core action. And like the context, it needs to be crystal clear, unambiguous.
So not just help me with this.
Useless. A strong instruction is specific and actionable. Are you asking the AI to analyze something, compare two things, maybe draft a specific type of document, or just outline the key points?
The verb choice matters a lot.
Hugely. Instead of write something about the campaign, you say, develop 5 distinct A/B test hypotheses for the Q4 social media campaign, focusing specifically on increasing click-share rates for users aged 18-25.
Much clearer. Specific actions, specific goal.
Right. And advanced instructions can even include logic. You might say, draft the email, but you ensure that if the customer sentiment is negative, then the tone must be apologetic and offer a specific remedy. You're guiding the AI's internal decision-making.
Okay, that's powerful. Instruction is the engine. Finally, element 4, format. Why is this so critical for professionals?
Usability, speed,
Integration.
format dictates the exact structure of the output. If you skip this, what does the AI usually give you?
A big block of text, narrative paragraphs.
Right, which is often hard to scan quickly and basically impossible for other software to understand or use. Professionals need structured output.
So you specify things like
Bullet points, nested lists for hierarchy, a strict word count per section, a table formatted in Markdown.
or even more technical formats.
Absolutely. For real automation, you might demand JSON or XML output, so another program can just ingest the AI's answer directly. No human needed.
Okay, so when you put all 4 together, role, context, instruction, format, you're really building something specific.
You're not just asking a question anymore. You're writing a spec sheet. You're giving the AI all the constraints it needs to succeed brilliantly all at once.
And that's what prevents the shallow, generic answers.
It's the ultimate defense. By controlling all 4, you force the AI to use its deep, specialized knowledge, but within your defined boundaries. It turns the generalist AI into your personalized expert assistant.
It really does sound less like asking a question and more like making a very detailed API call.
Fundamentally, that's not a bad way to think about it at all.
Okay, so we've got the core structure, the 4 elements: role, context, instruction, format. That gets us to the context-rich prompt. Now, let's push further into the really advanced stuff, the mastery tactics. This is where we move beyond just structuring the prompt into, well, the sources are calling it the new programming.
That's a great way to put it. Because these techniques aren't just about what you ask, but about influencing how the AI arrives at the answer. You're tweaking its internal reasoning process.
Okay, intriguing. This boosts reliability, lets you tackle more complex tasks.
Both. Definitely both.
All right, let's start with one that sounds a bit academic but seems crucial. Chain of thought, or COT. What exactly is that?
It's actually pretty straightforward in practice. You simply tell the AI to show its work, to lay out its reasoning step by step before it gives you the final conclusion.
So you just add something like, think step by step and show your reasoning.
Exactly. Or work through this problem logically before presenting the final answer. Something like that.
But why does that work? Why does making the AI talk more make the answer better? Seems almost backward.
It's because complex problems, whether it's math, logic, legal analysis, financial modeling, they often require multiple steps, linking different pieces of information.
Right.
If you just ask for the final answer, the AI tries to make one big predictive jump, and that's where errors or hallucinations often creep in. It makes a bad connection somewhere along the way.
Okay.
But chain of thought forces it to slow down, to tackle step 1, then use that result for step 2, and so on. It allocates its computational effort sequentially. It actually allows the AI to sort of check its own work internally as it goes.
So it reduces the chance of a leap of faith error.
Precisely. It's not just about transparency for you, though that's great too. It actually makes the AI's internal process more robust, especially for tasks needing logic or calculation.
So for the listener, the learner, the benefit is twofold. 1, better accuracy. 2, you see how it got there.
Exactly. If the answer is slightly off, you don't just scrap it. You look at the steps, find the flawed assumption or calculation, and you can correct it super quickly in your next prompt.
You get the working notes, not just the final memo.
Perfect analogy. And sometimes you don't even need a complex instruction. There's zero-shot COT where you literally just add the magic phrase. Let's think step by step.
Seriously, just that.
Often, yeah. That simple phrase primes the model to adopt a more structured sequential approach, and you see a noticeable improvement in quality for complex reasoning tasks. Worth trying.
Wow. Okay, simple but powerful. Next tactic, few-shot prompting. This sounds different, more about examples.
Totally different approach. Few-shot prompting is about teaching by showing. It's incredibly powerful because you're essentially overriding the AI's general training with hyper-specific, immediate examples you provide.
So instead of writing a long description of what I want.
Right. Instead of trying to explain in words the exact tone, style, and format for, say, a very niche type of report your team uses, you just give the AI 3 or 4 perfect examples of that report right in the prompt.
Like, here are 3 examples of last quarter sales summary. Now write one for this quarter using this new data.
Exactly. You provide input-output pairs. Given this kind of input data, produce this kind of output summary. The AI sees the pattern in your examples.
How does it see the pattern?
This goes back to that context window again. Your examples get loaded into its active memory for that session. It analyzes them, the structure, the jargon, the length, the tone, even subtle things like how you phrase conclusions, and it learns the template, the pattern, just from those few examples.
And then applies that pattern to the new task I give it.
Bingo. It's amazing for tasks where the desired output is really stylistic or follows unwritten rules or needs a very specific structure that's hard to describe but easy to show.
So less explaining, more showing.
When the format or style is crucial, yes.
Okay, let's quickly revisit role prompting, but elevate it. We said act as a financial advisor is basic. How do we make role a mastery tactic?
By adding layers, detail, specific responsibilities, and maybe even more importantly, specific constraints or things the role shouldn't do, you're building a detailed job description for the AI persona.
So not just act as an editor.
No, more like act as a critical copy editor. Your only focus is improving clarity, ensuring adherence to the Chicago Manual of Style, and eliminating passive voice constructions. You are explicitly forbidden from suggesting any changes to the core arguments or overall structure. Output your suggested edits using track changes format in Markdown with minimal explanatory comments.
Oh, okay, wow. That's specific.
And see the difference?
Yeah.
We gave it a mission, yes, but also guardrails. Prohibited actions. This stops the AI from going off-piste, offering generic advice or rewriting things you didn't want touched. It keeps it tightly focused on the precise value you need from that editor role. That's advanced role prompting.
Got it. Define the job and define the don'ts. And finally, a technique that feels very real-world, multi-turn refinement.
Yeah, this acknowledges that complex tasks, they're rarely one and done. You probably won't get the perfect output from the very first prompt, no matter how well crafted it is.
So it's about the conversation, the back and forth.
Exactly. Multi-turn refinement is using the chat interface as intended as a dialogue. You provide an initial context-rich prompt, get a response, and then you provide feedback, add constraints, ask for modifications over several turns.
And the key is the AI remembers the previous steps.
Yes, that's state management. The AI retains the context, the role, the instructions from earlier in the conversation, so your refinements build on each other.
Like saying, okay, that analysis is good, but now redo it, but adjust the tone to be much more formal for a board presentation.
Precisely. Or, great draft. Now please remove any references to projects completed before last year and add a section on future risks. Each turn sharpens the output, guides it closer to exactly what you need.
So iteration isn't failure, it's part of the process.
It's essential for complex outputs. You're guiding the AI, refining its work, just like you'd guide a human colleague or a team member working on a draft. It's collaborative refinement.
Okay, this is all great in theory, the structure, the tactics. But let's make it concrete. Let's see it in action. The source material had this fantastic example of Maria, the lawyer. It really highlights the difference this makes in a high-stakes professional setting.
Oh yeah, Maria's story is perfect. It shows this isn't just about saving a few minutes here and there. It's about fundamentally changing how professional work gets done.
So walk us through it. Her first attempt, using a basic prompt approach, she types what?
Summarize this case. Just that. Pass in the document, hits enter.
And what does she get back?
She gets a summary. A long one. Probably accurate, factually. It details the background, the arguments made, the court's decision.
Sounds okay.
It's okay as raw information, but for her purpose. Maybe needing key points for a partner meeting or prepping for a deposition. It was useless as delivered, too verbose, unstructured for her needs.
So she still had a lot of work to do.
A ton. She'd have to read the whole AI summary, pull out the actual legal arguments, maybe rephrase them, make sure the precedents were right. It's easily an hour, maybe more, of her own expensive time just to process the AI's summary.
Okay, so that's the baseline. Now the transformation. She applies advanced prompting, integrates those 4 elements. What does she type instead? The source had the exact quote.
Yeah, it was brilliant in its conciseness. Summarize this case into 3 key legal arguments in bullet points, each under 20 words, citing precedents.
Let's break that down. Role is implied legal context. Context is the paste file. Instruction is summarize.
But look at the format constraints. That's the genius. 3 arguments, bullet points, under 20 words each, cite precedents.
She didn't leave anything to chance. She dictated the architecture.
Exactly. And because she gave it that precise blueprint, the AI delivered, well, the source called it brilliance, a tight, actionable summary, ready to use immediately.
Okay, but here's the pushback. The question someone listening might have. She spent, maybe 5 minutes carefully crafting that perfect prompt.
Let's say 5 minutes, yeah.
Couldn't she have just started outlining the arguments herself in those 5 minutes? Where's the real time saving? Is it worth the effort to be that precise?
That's a crucial point. It's about the multiplier effect. For a lawyer, especially maybe a more junior one, taking a dense case file, identifying the 3 most crucial legal arguments, phrasing them perfectly concisely, and finding and citing the exact right precedents.
That's not a 5-minute job.
Heck no. That could be hours. Sometimes a full day of paralegal or junior associate time, digging through the file, checking databases, drafting, refining. Maria's 5 minutes of smart prompting potentially replaced 8 hours or more of highly skilled labor.
Wow. Okay, so the efficiency isn't just saving her time. It's saving potentially huge amounts of other people's time or research effort.
Exactly. It's not a linear saving. It's exponential for certain tasks.
The implication for professionals is huge then.
Massive. AI, when you command it with this level of precision, becomes an incredible force multiplier. Think about the other things Maria could now do in minutes. Generating case summaries formatted exactly for specific court rules. Comparing tricky clauses across dozens of different contracts instantly. Drafting initial outlines for cross-examinations by feeding it witness statements.
Tasks that used to be laborious, time-consuming, expensive.
And now potentially doable in minutes, freeing up the human expert Maria to focus on higher-level strategy, client interaction, the stuff AI can't do.
Which brings us back to that idea of iteration, the feedback loop.
Yes, because even Maria's brilliant prompt might need tweaking. Maybe the first output cited too many precedents, or the tone wasn't quite right for the specific audience.
So the mastery isn't just writing one perfect prompt.
No, it's also about the refinement. Iteration isn't a sign you failed, it's part of the workflow. You guide the AI. Okay, good start, but refine that list of precedents, only include ones from this specific court, or make the language less formal.
You're steering it.
You're steering it, continuously refining, using constrained feedback until the output is exactly what you need for your unique professional context. Quality comes from that guided refinement.
All right, we've covered a lot of ground. From why vagueness fails, to the structure of a great prompt, to those advanced, almost programming-like techniques. Let's try and boil this down. What are the 3 big actionable takeaways for you, the learner, listening right now? Takeaway number 1 seems clear. Prompts are the new programming.
Absolutely. You have to shift your mindset. You're not just asking a question, you're writing instructions. Code, essentially.
And like code, if you leave out a critical instruction or don't define your variables, the role, the context clearly,
the program runs on defaults, and you get generic, maybe unpredictable results. You have to actively code the behavior you want.
Okay. Takeaway number 2. Specificity creates quality.
This is the heart of the prompt pyramid. Vague in, vague out, generic in, generic out. professional quality, actionable output. That only comes from the context-rich prompt built on those 4 pillars: role, context, instruction, format.
The AI wants to generalize. Your job is to force it to specialize.
Couldn't have said it better myself.
Yeah.
Specificity is the tool you use to compel that specialization. It's non-negotiable.
And the third major takeaway: iterate, refine, and guide AI like a specialized colleague.
Right. Don't expect perfection on the first try for complex tasks. The human element, your expertise, your judgment is still vital. Use the chat interface, provide feedback, refine the output.
That back and forth is crucial.
It's the knowledge bridge. And make sure the AI's power is aligned with your specific needs, your standards, your context. It's how you customize its intelligence efficiently.
So wrapping it all up, this deep dive really underscores something fundamental. AI isn't here to replace your expertise.
No, it's here to multiply it, amplify it. Only if you learn to speak its language. The language of precision, structure, and control we've been talking about.
If you master that role context instruction format framework, if you start using tactics like chain of thought or few-shot learning,
you transform the AI. It stops being just a fancy search engine and becomes this incredibly powerful, reliable, almost instantaneous professional partner.
Well, that perfectly brings us to the end of this deep dive on advanced prompt engineering. Thank you truly for joining us as we tried to map out that path from just being a basic user to becoming a real commander of AI precision.
And as you go forward, thinking about how to apply these techniques in your own work, here's a final thought to chew on. If the biggest wins come from getting the AI to adopt a specialized role that amplifies your unique knowledge, what's the single most valuable, specific persona you should practice prompting the AI to become next? Is it chief negotiator focused on cross-cultural deals? Maybe forensic accountant tracking digital currency flows? Or strategic marketing lead crafting crisis communication plans?
Something specific to your world.
Exactly. What role will multiply your expertise the most? That's your next step in mastering this.
The great question to ponder. Go forth and program your AI colleagues wisely. We'll see you next time on The Deep Dive.